You probably spend a lot of time on YouTube. It is one of the biggest websites in the world. And when we think about YouTube, we usually associate it with Google. But Google didn't start the website. It was actually started by Steve Chen, Hurley and Jawed Karim. In this video, we will go through how the former PayPal employees got the idea of YouTube, built it, and eventually sold it to Google for over $1 billion. Starting from the very beginning. Jawed Karim and Steve Chen were typical hardcore coders. They had both attended the University of Illinois, and after finishing college, they were both recruited to join PayPal, where they met Chad Hurley. Hurley, who is from Bridgeboro, Pennsylvania, took a more offbeat path, attending the Indiana University of Pennsylvania, where he received a fine arts degree. When he graduated, he didn't get a direct offer from PayPal, but after reading an article about the company in Wired magazine, he called the company himself and got an interview. One of the tests that he had to do was to make a logo for PayPal. They were so impressed by it that they ended up using it as their official PayPal logo, and Hurley was hired on the spot. A couple of years later, PayPal was sold to eBay, and all of them got a pretty big payout. Hurley would leave the company and started freelancing, while Karim and Chen stayed on. All of them had become good friends and stayed in contact. The idea of YouTube first sparked at a get-together party that Chen had after moving into his new house in San Francisco. Hurley and Chen had made multiple videos of the party, but there was no way to share it. The videos were too big to email, and it took ages to upload them to any website and share the link. Both of them saw this as an opportunity to make something of their own. They shared their idea with Karim, and together they started to brainstorm. For Karim, two disparate incidents crystallized this problem. The tsunami in Indonesia and Janet Jackson's wardrobe malfunctioning during Super Bowl 38 in January of 2004. Even though everyone was talking about it, there was no way to find a clip of it anywhere online. With the tsunami, he believed there were probably a lot of videos of the disaster, but no way to access them. The two events made Karim realize that they were up to something good. They settled on the name YouTube after Hurley made a logo which they all agreed would be perfect, and on February 14, 2005, the three officially started work on YouTube and registered the domain youtube.com. Karim had this to say about working on Valentine. That's one of those things about being a computer science major. Valentine's Day is just another day. They really didn't know exactly what YouTube was going to be, but Karim was very fond of hotornot.com, a dating site that ranked people on a 1 to 10 scale in terms of attractiveness. I was incredibly impressed with Hot or Not, because it was the first time that someone had designed a website where anyone could upload content that everyone else could view. That was a new concept, because up until that point, it was always the people who owned the website who would provide the content, Karim told Times in an interview he did in 2006. On the 23rd of April, YouTube went live, taking advantage of an $129 a month unlimited data plan from ESP, server breach, and the first video was uploaded. Me at the zoo.
Alright, so here we are, one of the elephants. Cool thing about these guys is that they have really long fronts, and that's cool. And that's pretty much all there is to say.
In the beginning, there wasn't a lot of traffic, but the site wasn't as open as it is today either. The site was too primitive, and you couldn't choose what video you wanted to watch. Instead, the site would choose a video for you at random, and because of the lack of videos, the site would just show the same video over and over again. The group had a hard time explaining what YouTube actually did. They tried selling it as a dating site where you could just upload a video as your profile, instead of just writing with a picture. And to get traction, they would advertise on Craigslist to pay women $20 for every video they uploaded, but not a single person replied. Another vision they had was that the site would be used of kind of like a messaging app, where people would record something, upload it to the site, and share with a few friends. And when uploading, you knew exactly who you shared it with. But the site proved to be the exact opposite of that. People didn't upload to YouTube to share with their friends. They uploaded videos to share with the world. The luck turned on July 4th when Karim attended a barbecue party where he met with Keith Raboy, a former PayPal exec. Keith asked Karim what he was up to, and Karim told him about YouTube. Keith asked him 3 questions. Does he use Flash? Does it host professional or long-tail content? And can you distribute the content on the web? Karim replied that it was based on Flash. The site hosted long-tail content, and yes, you could distribute it on the web. They then went and looked at all the videos on YouTube, which at that time only took them about 30 minutes. After watching, Keith immediately said he wanted to invest. For Raboy, the Flash component was an important factor. A year or so earlier, Max Levchin, one of the creators of PayPal, had declared that Flash was the future. So literally, from February 2003, I've been looking for something that used Flash, Raboy said. Around this time, Karim got accepted into a PhD program at Stanford. It was a difficult decision, but he ended up leaving YouTube to continue his education. This was a tough blow for Chen and Hurley, who had to explain to the press and investors on why one of the co-funders left the company for college. But Raboy delivered, and at the end of the summer, Sequoia Capital invested $500,000 into YouTube. After the investment, the company moved into Sequoia Capital headquarters and used a small space there. They started to hire, and in November the team had half a dozen employees and needed a new office. They settled for an office in San Mateo, above a pizza joint.
Camera. I don't have a video camera.
Christina, last day in the office. All right.
Bye, old office.
First day in the office?
First day in the office, first and last in this office.
This is going on to, the making of YouTube.
Here's your new key to the new office.
All right, thanks.
Present to you a key.
Yeah, can you do something?
Yeah, I'm not playing the clown for YouTube, dude.
Oh, we're in a movie.
Amici's has rats. We're like, we should go in Amici's. We found this upstairs. This is yours? There's a dead rat.
That's right, I think. Right? Yeah.
The site had grown, but Chen and Hurley still wasn't completely sure what YouTube was. They would spend hours and weeks with Julia Supan, their head of marketing, to figure out what YouTube stood for. In November the 7th, they released a press release. YouTube is a consumer media company for people to watch and share original videos through a web experience. They positioned themselves as a broadcast medium for average people. Marketing was key for YouTube. There was a lot of video sharing websites, and most of them had a head start on YouTube. But Chen had developed a really good product. It was extremely easy to navigate on YouTube and find videos, and the video player always worked. Google had started their own video sharing, called Google Video. The quality of videos that was produced for Google Video was a lot better, and Google engineers couldn't understand how anyone could use YouTube over their own site. But they kind of missed the point. When uploading a video to Google Video, you needed to know what codec your video used and what was the dimension of the video frame. With YouTube, it was all in Flash, and when you wanted to upload a video for YouTube, the only thing you needed to do was push a button that said upload. This simple procedure made it a lot easier for average Joe to use the site. They also made it easier to share your video and let you embed your videos into other sites. And most people were doing this on MySpace, and that actually drove most of the traffic to YouTube during its early years. By providing easy sharing mechanism, YouTube accelerated the growth of online video. Initially, the only issue hindering the spread of online video was the lack of viral content. That would soon change. In November of 2005, YouTube closed a 3 million Series A round from Sequoia. Around the same time, a video appeared on the site featuring soccer star Ronaldo that was actually a Nike ad. It was shocking, Supin said. That was one of those moments at YouTube where the consumer surprised us. There was a moment of connectedness. We married brand building and entertainment. A bigger shock came the next month. Sometime after December the 17th, someone uploaded a video featuring Andy Samberg and Chris Parnell of SNL mocking their own nerdiness with a rap music parody called Lazy Sunday. Finally, this was the viral content that would demonstrate YouTube's potential. By the 27th of December, the video had over 1.2 million views. A mediocre numbers these days, but a milestone back then. Supin said, Lazy Sunday was a big deal for YouTube because it made the company realize the site's entertainment potential. The video would get NBC's attention as well. On February the 17th, 2006, the network asked YouTube to take the video down, as well as about 500 other copyrighted clips. The site was now picking up speed, and fast. Good Morning America would start a new segment showing viral videos from the website. Every Wednesday, the ABC morning program showcased 3 videos. The relationship not only got YouTube's name out, but solidified its image as a consumer media brand that specialized in amateur, unpolished, and sometimes oddball content. Traffic continued to build, and in January, YouTube was getting 15 million views per day. By March, the figure had jumped to 40 million. In June, it hit 80 million. It was now also getting a lot of attention from the bigger tech companies. Hurley held a keynote at Allen and CEO's annual media conference in Sun Valley, Idaho, in July, where he had this to say about the numbers. More than 80 million videos are being watched every day on our site. 60% of the videos watched online in the US are served from YouTube. YouTube has the largest audience in internet video, with 20 million unique visitors, and we are currently ranked as the 20th most visited site on the internet in the US. More than 80 million videos are watched every day. The average person is on YouTube for 17 minutes a session. Every day, 60% of videos are served from YouTube. Our nearest competitor has 17%. In September, David Drummond, Google's chief legal officer, sent Hurley an email expressing interest in the site. Google wasn't alone. Yahoo, Microsoft, and News Corp, which owned MySpace, all made overtures to YouTube. They were just trying to make sure the other one didn't acquire YouTube. None of them understood what they were buying. They just didn't want Microsoft to buy it, Supin said. That month, Hurley and Chen met with Yahoo execs at the Denny's in Redwood City. A day later, they met with Larry Page and Eric Schmidt of Google. And on October the 9th, Hurley and Chen announced to the world that Google was buying the company for $1.6 billion. The payout was huge. In February of 2017, Hurley got around $345 million in Google stock, while Chen received $326 million. At Google's current stock price, those payouts would be worth over $780 million and $736 million, respectively. Karim received over $64 million. Sequoia, which had invested $13 million in total, got $442 million. Even YouTube's lower-level employees got a handsome payday. Receptionist Shannon Hermes got $1.3 million in stock at the time. There was a lot of speculation on what caused the sale. The copyright strike had been dawning, and a lot of people figured that if they wouldn't sell YouTube, they would be sued out of existence. Billionaire Mark Cuban was outspoken at the time, stating that only a moron would buy YouTube. But with the power of Google and with endless pockets, they were able to take YouTube to a new level. Both Chen and Hurley stayed on the project for a couple of years, but eventually left. After leaving, Steve Chen and Chad Hurley would create Mixbit, which was acquired by Blue Jeans in 2018. Jawed Karim started University Ventures, which he still runs today. One of the biggest investments was for Airbnb in their seed round in April of 2009. After the acquisition, YouTube has grown quite a bit. Today YouTube has over 1.9 billion monthly active users and over 5 billion videos watched every day. Their annual revenue is $13 billion, and the biggest YouTube stars are raking in over $100 million each year, and it's still growing. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please hit that like button. If you want to see more of the same content, hit that subscribe button. I'll have more videos like this coming next week.